The warning. Dr. Sarah Chen stood frozen before the massive array of monitors at the Deep Space Listening Post in Antarctica, her coffee cup suspended halfway to her lips. The signal patterns dancing across her screens defied everything she'd learned in 15 years of xenocommunications research. They were structured, deliberate, and absolutely artificial, but unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. "Director Walsh," she called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I need you to see this." James Walsh, director of the International Deep Space Communication Initiative, hurried over from his office. His weathered face grew serious as he studied the readings. "How long has this been coming in?" 17 minutes. It's being broadcast on multiple frequencies simultaneously. And Sarah paused, double-checking her calculations. "It's coming from everywhere." Walsh's eyebrows shot up. "Everywhere." "Multiple points of origin, sir. Hundreds of them, spread across different sectors of space, all transmitting the exact same message." The signal wasn't just a random broadcast. It was a warning. As their computers worked to decode the complex mathematical patterns, a clear message began to emerge. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity needed to prepare. The message spoke of the Nexeri, a species that had appointed themselves the arbiters of galactic stability. They traveled from civilization to civilization, testing each species they encountered. Those deemed unstable or dangerous were systematically eliminated. Their method was simple. They would arrive, evaluate, and either destroy or depart. No negotiations, no second chances. The warning had been sent by the Collective, a loose alliance of species who had survived Nexeri testing. They couldn't directly interfere. That would mean their own destruction. But they could warn others. Earth had been noticed. The Nexeri were coming. Within hours, the world's leaders gathered in an emergency virtual summit. The evidence was undeniable, and for the first time in human history, all nations faced a threat that made their differences seem insignificant. "We have 6 months," Walsh explained to the assembled leaders, his voice echoing through secure channels across the globe. The Collective's message included the Nexeri's typical travel patterns and testing protocols. They're methodical, predictable. It's their one weakness. President Helena Martinez of the United Nations Security Council leaned forward in her chair. "What exactly are they testing for?" "Stability," Sarah answered, stepping into view, "but not the way we might think of it. They're not looking for peaceful species. They're looking for species that can maintain order while advancing technologically, species that can handle power responsibly." "And if we fail their test?" The question came from Premier Lai of the Chinese Federation. Sarah's expression darkened. The Collective's message included records of planets that failed. "There's nothing left of them but debris fields." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had 6 months to prove it deserved to exist, but no one knew exactly what proof would satisfy the Nexeri. "Then we prepare," Martins declared, her voice firm. "We show them humanity at its best, not because they demand it, but because that's who we can be. We've spent our history divided, fighting among ourselves. Maybe this is our chance to show what we can do united." The response was immediate and unprecedented. Over the next weeks, the world transformed. National armies merged into a unified Earth Defense Force. Scientific institutions shared their most closely guarded secrets. Resources were pooled, and long-standing conflicts were set aside in the face of extinction. But humanity didn't just prepare for war. They prepared to make a statement. Massive space habitats were constructed to show their ability to expand sustainably. Clean energy initiatives that had stalled for decades were completed in months. Global poverty and hunger programs received unprecedented funding and support. Sarah worked tirelessly with her team, analyzing every scrap of data from the Collective's message. "They're not just warning us about the Nexeri," she explained to Walsh one night, her eyes red from lack of sleep. "They're teaching us. Look at these patterns in their transmission method. It's more efficient than anything we've developed. They're showing us how to advance. Walsh nodded slowly, understanding dawning on his face. They're giving us a chance to evolve before the Nexeri arrive. Exactly. And I think, Sarah hesitated, then forged ahead. I think that's the real test. The Nexeri don't just want to see if we can fight. They want to see if we can learn, adapt, and grow stronger without destroying ourselves in the process. As the months passed, humanity transformed itself not out of fear, but out of determination. They would face the Nexeri not as a species desperate to survive, but as one ready to prove its worth to the galaxy. One evening, as Sarah watched the sunset from the Antarctic station, Walsh joined her. "Do you think we'll pass their test?" he asked quietly. Sarah considered the question carefully. "I think we've already passed the most important test," she replied. "We've proven that humanity can unite and grow stronger without losing what makes us human. Whatever the Nexeri bring, they'll find a species that faces the future together." Above them, the first stars began to appear in the darkening sky. Somewhere out there, the Nexeri were approaching. But Earth wasn't waiting in fear. It was preparing to show the galaxy exactly what humanity could become when challenged to rise above its limitations. The warning had been received. Now it was time to prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars. Humanity's response. Commander Maya Rodriguez stood at the helm of the EDF Prometheus, Earth's first quantum-drive warship, watching as her crew ran through another simulation. The massive vessel, constructed in record time through the combined efforts of 17 nations, represented humanity's greatest technological achievement, and potentially their best hope for survival. "Run it again," she ordered, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing their latest test results. The quantum drive's efficiency is still 5% below theoretical maximum. We need every advantage we can get. Dr. Aidan Foster, the ship's lead physicist, nodded from his station. The young scientist had been instrumental in translating the collective's advanced physics concepts into practical applications. "The problem isn't in the drive itself," he explained, pulling up detailed diagnostics. "It's in our understanding of quantum field manipulation. We're still thinking too linearly." 3 months had passed since the warning, and humanity had made technological leaps that would have taken decades under normal circumstances. The collective's message hadn't just warned them. It had included encrypted packets of scientific knowledge, carefully hidden within the transmission patterns themselves. Each decoded packet pushed human understanding further, but time was running out. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility known as the Nexus, Dr. Sarah Chen worked with an international team of xenolinguists and cryptographers. They had decoded less than half of the collective's data packets, but what they found was revolutionary. "The Nexeri aren't invincible," Sarah explained during an emergency briefing with Earth's Unified Command. "The collective's data shows patterns in their behavior, weaknesses in their psychology. They're obsessed with order, with predictability. It's not just their methodology. It's hardwired into their species." Admiral James Chen, no relation to Sarah, but now one of Earth's highest-ranking military leaders, leaned forward. "How can we use that against them?" "Their technology is based on perfect mathematical principles," Sarah continued, bringing up complex equations on the briefing room screens. "But they have no concept of chaos theory, of beneficial disorder. They see it as a flaw, a sign of instability. But we understand something they don't. That chaos and order are two sides of the same coin." Humanity's preparation took an unexpected turn. Instead of trying to match the Nexeri's technological superiority, they began developing systems that embraced unpredictability. Quantum computers were programmed with randomness algorithms. Defense systems were designed to adapt and evolve in real time. Ships were built with systems that could reconfigure themselves based on battle conditions. In orbit, the Prometheus's crew made breakthrough after breakthrough. Commander Rodriguez watched as her ship's systems began to incorporate the new principles, becoming something neither fully human nor entirely alien in design. "It's beautiful," Aidan remarked one day, watching the quantum drive's energy patterns shift and flow in ways that defied conventional physics. We're not just copying their technology, we're making it our own, adding something they've never seen before. But not everyone was convinced of their approach. During a Global Security Council meeting, voices of doubt were raised. We're betting everything on the assumption that the Nexeri will be thrown off by unpredictability, argued General Viktor Petrov, his hologram flickering slightly. What if we're wrong? What if they simply overwhelm us with superior firepower? Maya, attending via quantum link from the Prometheus, had an answer ready. The collected's data shows that the Nexeri have never encountered a species that successfully combined order and chaos. Their testing protocol assumes that advanced civilizations will follow predictable patterns of development. We're about to show them something new. As the deadline approached, humanity's transformation accelerated. Cities developed adaptive infrastructure that could respond to threats in real time. The global defense grid incorporated quantum uncertainty principles that made it impossible to predict where strikes would come from. Even Earth's communication networks evolved, becoming living systems that could route themselves through quantum states. But perhaps the most significant change was in humanity itself. The crisis had forced them to embrace their own contradictions, their capacity for both logic and intuition, for planning and improvisation, for unity and individuality. One evening, as the Prometheus underwent its final preparations, Maya found Aiden in the ship's observation deck, staring at the Earth below. Having doubts, she asked, joining him at the viewport. He shook his head. The opposite. Actually, for the first time, I truly believe we have a chance, not just to survive, but to show them something they've never seen before. What's that? A species that doesn't just accept chaos and order. We thrive on their interaction. Every advancement we've made in the past months proves it. We've taken their perfect technology and made it better by making it less perfect. Maya smiled, understanding what he meant. The Prometheus itself was a testament to that philosophy. Its systems operated on principles that would seem contradictory to the Nexeri, quantum states that were both ordered and chaotic, predictable and random. 2 weeks, she said quietly, checking her chronometer. 2 weeks until they arrive, and we show them what humanity really is. Aiden nodded, his expression determined. They're coming to test us, to see if we deserve to exist. But I don't think they realize that they're about to be tested too. They'll have to face something they've never encountered. A species that turns their own principles upside down. As they spoke, across the planet, humanity continued its preparations. But they weren't just preparing for war. They were preparing to demonstrate a new way of existing in the universe, one that embraced both the order the Nexeri sought and the chaos they feared. The collective had given them a warning. Humanity had turned it into an opportunity for revolution. First contact. They arrived with the silence of a falling snow. No grand entrance, no thunderous announcement. Just a quiet ripple through space-time as the Nexeri fleet materialized at the edge of the solar system. Their ships were perfect geometric forms, crystalline structures that seemed to defy the very nature of reality itself. The quantum sensors aboard the Prometheus detected them first. Commander Maya Rodriguez felt a chill run down her spine as the readings appeared on her command screen. All stations, battle stations, she ordered, her voice calm despite the gravity of the moment. This is not a drill. The Nexeri ships moved with impossible precision, their formation a mathematical equation made manifest. As they approached Neptune's orbit, humanity got its first clear look at the species that had appointed themselves the galaxy's judges. Dr. Sarah Chen, now stationed aboard the Prometheus as humanity's chief sinological advisor, studied the incoming data with intense focus. Their ships, she breathed, they're not just built, they're grown. Perfect fractals, extending through multiple dimensions. The first transmission from the Nexeri came exactly as the collective had predicted, a series of mathematical proofs that served as both greeting and challenge. Earth's unified command had prepared for this moment, but the reality of it still sent shivers through everyone who witnessed it. "They're expecting us to respond with our own mathematical proofs," Sarah explained to the command staff. "It's their way of gauging our technological advancement. But we're going to show them something different. Instead of responding with pure mathematics, humanity transmitted back a complex quantum algorithm, one that incorporated both precise calculations and controlled uncertainty. It was Dr. Aidan Foster's creation, a demonstration of humanity's new hybrid approach to physics." The Nexeri's response was immediate. Their ships halted their advance, and for several long moments, silence filled the void between the two civilizations. When they finally responded, their message was unlike anything the collective had warned about. "You introduce chaos into order," the transmission stated, "the alien concepts barely translatable into human language. This is unprecedented." Maya exchanged glances with her command staff. This deviation from the Nexeri's usual protocol could either be a very good sign or a very bad one. "Let's show them more," she decided. Over the next several hours, humanity demonstrated their new technologies. The Prometheus performed a series of maneuvers that combined precise quantum calculations with unpredictable variations. Earth's defensive grid activated, showing patterns that were simultaneously ordered and chaotic. The Nexeri observers remained silent, their massive ships holding position just beyond Mars' orbit. Their next transmission came with an unexpected request. They wanted to send representatives to meet with humanity face to face. "This has never happened before," Sarah said during the emergency council meeting that followed. According to the collective's records, the Nexeri never engage in direct diplomatic contact during their testing phase. Admiral Chen's hologram flickered as he leaned forward. "Could it be a trap?" "It doesn't fit their psychological profile," Sarah replied. "The Nexeri value absolute truth. Deception is seen as a form of chaos in their society. If they say they want to meet, they mean it." The meeting was arranged aboard the International Space Station, now transformed into a neutral diplomatic ground. As humanity's representatives prepared for the encounter, Maya found herself selected to join the delegation, along with Sarah and Aidan. The Nexeri revealed themselves to be tall, crystalline beings that seemed to exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. Their bodies shimmered with internal light, and their movements were precise, measured, and perfectly coordinated. "We have encountered many species," the lead Nexeri spoke, its thoughts translated through the quantum field. "All follow predictable patterns of development. Order emerges from chaos, or chaos destroys order. You are the first to deliberately maintain both states in harmony." Sarah stepped forward, her years of studying the collective's data evident in her confident response. "Our strength lies in our ability to embrace both. We understand that true stability comes not from eliminating chaos, but from finding harmony between order and unpredictability." The Nexeri delegation conferred among themselves, their crystalline forms resonating with complex harmonics. When they spoke again, their words sent ripples through the human delegation. "Your species requires further study," they announced. "The test parameters we have used for millennia may be insufficient." It wasn't acceptance, but it wasn't rejection either. It was something entirely new. The first time in recorded history that the Nexeri had admitted their own system might need revision. As the diplomatic talks continued, Maya found herself in a quiet conversation with one of the Nexeri observers. "Your ships," the alien being noted, "they contain elements we cannot predict." "That's by design," Maya explained. "We believe that the strongest systems are those that can adapt, evolve, and surprise even their creators." The Nexeri's crystalline form shifted through several colors before responding. "This concept, it requires further examination. Perhaps there is more to stability than we have understood." As the first day of contact drew to a close, humanity found itself in an unprecedented position. They weren't just being tested. They were challenging the Nexeri's fundamental understanding of the universe. Sarah summed it up during the evening briefing. "They came to judge us, but they're finding themselves questioning their own assumptions. This isn't just about survival anymore. We're showing them a new way of thinking about existence itself. The real test was just beginning, but humanity had already achieved something remarkable. They had made the judges question their own criteria, and in doing so, they had changed the rules of a game that had remained unchanged for millennia. The battle for Saul. The peace lasted exactly 3 days, 4 hours, and 17 minutes. That's when the second Nexeri fleet arrived. The true test fleet, far larger and more powerful than the diplomatic contingent. They emerged from quantum space like a crystal storm, their ships darkening the space between Mars and Jupiter. Commander Maya Rodriguez stood on the Prometheus's bridge, watching as the new arrivals took up attack positions. The diplomatic Nexeri vessels had withdrawn to the edges of the system, their role in the proceedings apparently complete. They were gathering tactical data during the diplomatic exchange. Dr. Aidan Foster realized, his hands flying over his console as he analyzed the new fleet's formation. Every conversation, every demonstration. They were learning how we think. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice came through the quantum Kong from Earth Command. This is their true test. The diplomacy was just the first phase. Now they want to see how we handle direct conflict. The Nexeri's attack came with mathematical precision. Their weapons were beyond anything humanity had prepared for. Beams of concentrated quantum energy that could literally erase matter from existence. The first volley obliterated 3 of Earth's outer system defense platforms. But humanity had prepared for this moment in their own unique way. As the Nexeri weapons fired, Earth's defense grid didn't just react. It evolved. Each blast that hit their shields provided new data, and the quantum computers governing their defenses adapted in real time, introducing controlled chaos into their response patterns. They can't predict what they can't understand, Maya announced to her crew as the Prometheus engaged its hybrid drive. Show them what humanity can do. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations as the moment humanity proved its worth to the galaxy. The Prometheus led a fleet of Earth ships in maneuvers that defied conventional physics. Their quantum chaos drives allowed them to appear in multiple positions simultaneously, their weapons combining ordered precision with unpredictable variations. In Earth's orbital defense stations, Sarah worked with a team of scientists to analyze and counter Nexeri tactics. They're trying to force us into predictable responses, she observed. Their entire strategy is based on mathematical certainty, but we're not playing by their rules anymore. The Nexeri fleet's perfect formation began to break down as they encountered one unexpected tactic after another. Earth ships would appear to be destroyed, only to reemerge from quantum probability fields. Defense platforms would shift positions through controlled uncertainty states, making targeting solutions impossible to calculate. Aboard the Prometheus, Aidan made a crucial discovery. Their ships, he called out, they're not just using quantum mechanics, they're quantum mechanics embodied. Their entire existence is based on perfect mathematical harmony. Maya understood immediately. Then let's show them some discord. She ordered the fleet to implement Protocol Omega, a battle plan that deliberately introduced controlled chaos into the quantum field itself. The effect was devastating. The Nexeri ships, dependent on perfect mathematical harmony, found themselves in a space where the very laws of physics seemed to hiccup and stutter. Their crystalline forms began to show signs of stress, perfect geometries developing microscopic flaws. But the battle was far from one-sided. Earth's fleet took heavy losses, with several ships being erased from existence by the Nexeri's quantum weapons. The space around Mars became a graveyard of human and alien vessels alike. In the midst of the chaos, Maya noticed something extraordinary. The diplomatic Nexeri vessels, supposedly withdrawn from the battle, were observing everything with intense interest. Their sensors were recording not just the combat, but the fundamental ways in which humanity was challenging their understanding of reality itself. This isn't just about winning or losing, Maya realized. She opened a channel to Earth Command. They're not testing our military strength. They're testing our ability to transcend their limitations. Sarah's response came back immediately. Then let's show them everything. Authorization granted for final protocol. The Prometheus initiated a sequence that they had prepared but never tested. A complete embrace of quantum chaos theory on a solar system scale. Every human ship and defense platform synchronized their quantum drives, creating a cascade effect that rippled through space-time itself. The Nexeri fleet found themselves in a region of space where probability and certainty had become one and the same. Their perfect formations became meaningless as space itself seemed to bend and flex around them. Ships that relied on mathematical precision for their very existence began to experience reality in ways they had never encountered before. The battle reached its climax as the Nexeri command ship, a massive crystalline structure the size of a small moon, attempted to launch a final devastating attack. But in the quantum chaos field generated by humanity's fleet, their weapons couldn't maintain coherence. Maya watched as the massive ship's crystalline structure began to resonate with unexpected harmonics. "They have to make a choice," she said quietly. "Adapt or retreat." For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, the entire Nexeri fleet hung suspended in space, their perfect forms shimmering with internal light as they faced something they had never encountered in all their millennia of testing other species: the need to change themselves. Legacy of Earth. The universe held its breath as the Nexeri fleet hung motionless in the quantum chaos field. Their crystalline ships, once perfect embodiments of mathematical order, now rippled with new possibilities. Commander Maya Rodriguez watched from the Prometheus's bridge as reality itself seemed to wait for their decision. Then something unprecedented happened. The Nexeri began to change. Their ship's crystalline structures started shifting, adapting, incorporating elements of controlled chaos into their perfect geometric patterns. It was as if they were learning, evolving in real time, doing something their species had never done before, embracing imperfection. "They're rewriting their own fundamental nature," Dr. Aidan Foster whispered, his instruments recording the transformation. "They're choosing to change rather than destroy or retreat." The diplomatic contingent that had been observing the battle now moved forward, their vessels already showing signs of similar adaptation. When they transmitted their message, it was unlike anything the collective had recorded in their long history of Nexeri encounters. "We have been wrong," the transmission began, the perfect mathematical precision of their language now carrying undertones of something new: uncertainty, possibility, growth. "For millennia, we have judged species based on their ability to achieve perfect order. We now understand this was a fundamental error in our understanding of universal stability." Dr. Sarah Chen, watching from Earth Command, felt tears in her eyes as she translated the message for the human leadership. "They're not just passing us," she explained. "They're thanking us." The Nexeri continued. "Your species has demonstrated that true stability comes not from the elimination of chaos, but from the harmony between order and uncertainty. You have shown us that evolution requires both. We have much to learn from each other." The battle fleet began to withdraw, but not in retreat. As they pulled back, their ships continued to transform, incorporating the principles they had witnessed. The perfect crystalline structures now contained elements of controlled randomness, creating patterns that were both ordered and unpredictable. In the days that followed, the galaxy witnessed something extraordinary. The Nexeri, who had spent countless millennia testing and judging other species, began to change their entire approach to interstellar civilization. The diplomatic contingent remained in the solar system, not as judges, but as students and partners. "It's remarkable," Sarah observed during a joint human-Nexeri scientific conference aboard the International Space Station. "They're not just accepting change. They're embracing it with the same thoroughness they once applied to maintaining perfect order." The Nexeri shared their vast knowledge of the universe, but now they did so not as superior beings dispensing wisdom, but as equals engaged in mutual discovery. Their understanding of quantum mechanics, combined with humanity's grasp of chaos theory, led to breakthroughs that neither species could have achieved alone. The collective, which had warned Earth of the coming test, sent representatives to witness this unprecedented development. Their arrival brought another surprise. They had never expected their warning to lead to such a profound change in the galaxy's oldest and most powerful species. Commander Rodriguez found herself working closely with both Nexeri and collective scientists, helping to develop new technologies that combined the best aspects of all their civilizations. The Prometheus became a testing ground for innovations that would reshape humanity's understanding of the universe. "We didn't just pass their test," Maya remarked to Aiden one evening, as they watched Earth's first hybrid quantum chaos drive being installed in a new generation of ships. "We changed the very nature of the test itself." The Nexeri's transformation had far-reaching implications. Other species, long afraid of drawing their attention, began to emerge from hiding. The galaxy was transforming from a place of fear and judgment to one of collaboration and mutual growth. A year after the battle, Earth hosted the first Galactic Congress, a gathering of species from across the known universe. The Nexeri, once the feared judges of civilization, now sat as equals among the species they had once tested. Their crystalline forms, still beautiful in their geometry, now shimmered with the controlled chaos they had learned to embrace. Sarah, speaking of the Congress's opening ceremony, summed up the profound change that had occurred. "We stand here today not because we proved ourselves worthy of existence, but because we showed that worthiness itself comes from the ability to grow, to change, and to challenge our most fundamental beliefs about the nature of reality." The legacy of Earth's encounter with the Nexeri became a cornerstone of galactic history. It wasn't just a story of survival, or even of victory. It was a testament to the power of adaptation, to the strength found in embracing both chaos and order, and to the fundamental truth that even the oldest and most rigid systems can learn, grow, and change. As humanity took its place among the stars, they carried with them this profound lesson. True strength lies not in perfection, but in the ability to find harmony in imperfection. The universe, they had shown, was not a place of absolute order or chaos, but a magnificent dance between the two. And in the depths of space, where the Nexeri fleet had once hung in perfect formation, new ships now traveled, their crystalline forms containing both mathematical precision and beautiful uncertainty, a living testament to the day humanity taught the judges how to learn.